To Thinking is Contagious. For the next 4 years, hopefully, God willing, I'm going to be talking about a topic that I think is very important, and I think one we all have to get together on, and we have to make sure that we push it forward. 75 million people voted for the movement that Donald Trump created. America First, uh, I think it's something that we all want to see. Capitalism, something we all want to see. Freedom of speech is something that we all want to see. And opportunity for all is something that we all want to see. An economy that works for everyone, which is what Donald Trump did. And most importantly, the, the draining of the swamp. And in order for this to be accomplished and in order for this to be achieved, one thing has to happen, and that is the next president of this country cannot be a Republican, cannot be a Democrat, cannot be a swamp dweller. The next president of this country has to be someone that comes from the outside, is not a swamp dweller, does not have baggage, and does not have payback, required payback. In order to get this accomplished, I think that we have got to look for the candidate, and we have a great basis of 75 million strong. But it's important that we get a candidate that knows how to deliver the message in a more palatable form than what Donald Trump did. All of you who know me know that when Donald Trump came down that escalator, June of 2015, I believe it was, and declared that he was going to run for president of the United States, throughout the entire um, his entire campaign for presidency, when he was debating, when he was among the 17 or 18 Republicans that were up for grabs as far as who was going to represent the party, I was not a Trump fan, and I was very critical of Trump, and you all know that, because I don't like name calling, I don't like bullying, I don't like abusiveness, and I don't like lies and fabrications. Okay, and Donald Trump to me was exactly that. However, when he won the nomination and it was between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, believe me, I would vote for anyone other than a Clinton for president of the United States. Well, not anyone. I wouldn't vote for Obama either, but an Obama or a Clinton or a Bush will never get I'd write in my name before I did any of that. So I'm telling you because that's where I was with Trump. Now, do I wish he had delivered his message in a more palatable form? Yes. Do I wish he had delivered his message in a form that some of the more moderate Democrats, centrist Democrats, would have fallen on his side? Yes. The libertarians? Yes. Let's remember that we got 75 million people who voted for the Donald Trump agenda. And there are many Democrats that are fed up with their party. Just like there's many Republicans that are fed up with the party. And there's many people that really don't feel that anyone represents them. So I think it's important that we seek out the right candidate, but I think it is a must. If this country's future is going to go in the direction that we feel as Americans it should go, the next president cannot be a Republican, cannot be a Democrat, and that means cannot be a swamp dweller. This has to happen. We need to identify a candidate. We need to let our voices be heard. And what I've said before, we need to make our wallets, our pocketbooks speak for us. Do not support the businesses that are supporting the things that we don't agree with. That doesn't mean that they don't have their right to do that. That's fine. I'm not shutting them down. I believe 100% that they can voice their opinion and they can say what they believe, and that as long as it's peaceful and it's educated and it's not in any way offensive or intrusive or takes away any of our rights or liberties, have at it. I don't care what's gender, sex, race, creed. It doesn't matter to me. To me, everyone is the same. It's the racists in this country who separate us. It is the misogynists in this country who separate and categorize us. It is the xenophobes in this country that separate and categorize us. Most of America is not that. But remember, without racism or claim, there is no systemic racism in America. That is a fact. But without that claim being viable, then the rest of the agenda can't be implemented. And a lot of people will be out of a job because all these people who cry racism, 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 they make their money off of racism. So they got to make sure that it stays in place. And that's a fact. Now, as far as what's happening now with Joe Biden, he's coming across, and believe me, he's doing the bidding of the left, of the progressive left, of the extreme socialist left. Everything he's doing with this money, this handout of money, is aimed at a socialist agenda. The fact that his platform is to put out stimulus, $2 trillion worth of stimulus, but just as important as getting money out to people is hand in hand is the requirement that race, gender be part of the equation. That is socialism. That is how you enter into socialism. That is how you disguise socialism. By saying that what you're looking for is to help the American people. But part and parcel with that help is a pecking order based on race, based on gender, under the guise of systemic racism and inequality, which doesn't exist. This is all a smokescreen, people. This is all a smokescreen to get the socialist agenda in place. We need to stop this. We need to have our voices heard. We need to have our resources and finances speak for us. Don't watch television programs that support this nonsense. You people know I'm a diehard baseball fan. I've been for 40 years in fantasy baseball, since nobody knew what it was, rotisserie baseball. I live and die for this thing. The Yankees, my Yankees, I have, I bleed pinstripes. I dropped it all. I dropped it all last year, opening day of the belated opening day of the season. Sat down to watch my Yankees, and what do I see? A Black Lives Matter ceremony. From that day on, I have not watched one inning of baseball, and not one inning, not one pitch of my Yankees. And believe me, that pains me. You wouldn't believe how much that pains me. That is something that was ingrained in me since I was 7 or 8 years old. It hurts, but I got to stand up for what I believe. We got to stand up for what we believe. Do not be fooled by this agenda that's coming out under the guise of getting money into people's hands to help people. It's not that. It is the getting money into people's hands is a necessary byproduct of the true agenda. And the true agenda is to implement socialism into this country. To get people hooked on the handout, to get people not hooked on being supported by the government, to look to the government to resolve their issues. And with that in place, those crumbs that they're throwing out to us is exactly what they use to assure their reelection. The swamp must be drained. The swamp cannot continue. We cannot vote for these people. And in the midterm elections, we need to let our voices be heard. We have to do diligence. We have to have complete due diligence and pick the right candidates. The future depends on this. We hope that enough people take this seriously and then a big statement will be made in 2022, and a bigger statement in 2024 will be made. Okay, said my piece. I'm gonna work. I'm gonna work at this. I'm gonna work at this like nonstop. I'm gonna get this out. I want to get this word out. I need you guys to get this word out. We need to get this word out. Have a good day, and let's keep pushing forward. There is great hope on the horizon, but it's up to us to make sure that we let it in. Thank you. Have a good day.